Hello, welcome to my podcast. I am the Dutch knitter. My name is Julia and I'm coming to you from the Netherlands. I'm very glad that you're joining me today with a new podcast. I very much enjoy also making English podcasts. I start to feel a little bit more comfortable with my English as well. So I hope my English is good enough also for you. Sometimes it's maybe a little Dutchy English. Well, that was my coffee machine because I'm sitting in my kitchen. Today it is Friday, July 28th, and it's nice weather in the Netherlands, but still it's a little bit cloudy. Here in the Netherlands it can be cloudy, it can be very warm, it's all very humid always. So it's sometimes challenging to wear summer garments in the summer because sometimes it's just too cold for a nice summer garment. Today it's not too cold, so I can wear my new Ranunculus. In my last episode I talked about knitting the Ranunculus, and I really enjoyed the process of knitting this. Although I'm not a very experienced knitter, I just started in January knitting and I am, well, not experienced at all. I didn't find it very hard to knit. Midori Hirose, she's the designer of this pattern. She explains it very well and she also has some videos with some stitches. And I also think she wrote it really clearly, the pattern. So even for me, that I'm not the best in reading patterns. I tend also to skip some parts, just not intentionally, but just by being in a hurry because I want to knit the garment. And yeah, I thought this pattern is very clear. So, well, I assume you already know because I think loads of people knitted the Ranunculus. It is from the yarn I used. The yarn I used for this Ranunculus, it is from Drops and it's Beautiful Lin and it's cotton linen yarn. It's a little bit dry and hard on the hands, but after blocking it, it feels a little bit softer. Although linen it's a little bit rustic yarn. It's also written on the label that it's rustic. Well, Drops is very accessible in the Netherlands. I know in the United States it's not so accessible, but for us it's very accessible and it's very cheap. I know there's also some controversy with the Drops designs and with their yarns. I don't know about that. People say also that they steal patterns from designers. Well, until now I didn't use drop patterns. Since I started knitting, I downloaded and bought quite a lot on Ravelry. And I bought so much that I can't knit them all. So I was very enthusiastic and I got caught up, or just like, you know, in the moment, and I was so, impressed by all the beautiful patterns when I found out that Ravelry actually exists. Because in the Netherlands, usually the patterns are in books. And I don't know a Dutch site where you can buy patterns. I think on Etsy you can buy also patterns, but I didn't know about the site called Ravelry. So I really enjoyed it. So I have a lot of patterns. And why I'm telling this? Because I was talking about my Ranunculus. So let's go back continuing about the Ranunculus. I didn't do the cast on, which is required in a pattern. I used German cast on, twisted German cast on. Not sure if it's called that way. And as I explained in my previous video, I didn't bind off the sleeves, but I put them on a thread. So a help thread. Do you call it like that? I don't know, but I'm sure you know what I mean. So I knitted this garment, I think in 2.5 weeks. So it was a really quick knit. And for me, what is new about this garment? Well, everything, all the lace work, but also the twisted rib, which is really beautiful with this linen, with this yarn. I didn't find it very hard to knit the twisted rib. I actually found it pleasant to do, and I really liked it. Nice coffee, nice coffee. So I really enjoyed doing the twisted rib. After I finished the garment, I was going to block it. And because the weather here is quite humid, and last week it was cloudy and not very warm, after blocking the shirt, it took me 4 days to dry it. So that was long for me because I was very impatient, because I really wanted to wear it. But when I was blocking it, I was shocked to see that there was a hole in the back of the garment. The stitch went loose. I don't know how that happened, but maybe because the yarn is so stiff, I didn't weave it in good enough. And I heard also people telling me in my Dutch video in the comments, they said that when you change yarn, you better change it under the arms. But then I think, yeah, okay, but when you finished under the arms and you just continue in the round. So I think to attach a new thread in the middle of your shirt, especially with linen, it's not very, how do you say it? It's not a good idea. So, and I knitted this shirt on needle 6 millimeters, and that's why it's a little bit more drapey. I love it. And I fixed the hole. I think I showed you, I'm always confused because for me it's now here, right? But it's on your left. So I show you on the left how I fixed the hole in this sweater. So it's really nice. I think I will wear it a lot, and it's a really, really lovely sweater. Or you call it, no, it's no sweater, it's a short sleeves. How do you call it with short sleeves? Is it a camisole? Or is it a camisole without sleeves? I don't know. I don't think my English is that bad, but sometimes just some simple words, I just don't know how you say, but a tee. What is the difference between a tee and a camisole? I don't know. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It's always funny that many people in their podcast, they mention what they're drinking, and I think I didn't do that until now. And they always say, oh, I have such a nice mug. But I just love to drink my coffee in a glass. It's double, the glass is double-sided, so it stays very hot. And I love my coffee to be hot. So that's my coffee, and it tastes delicious. So this, I think this was it about my ranunculus. Yeah, I love it. It's a new favorite of me. It's my favorite garment I knitted until now. So yeah, very nice. Before I continue, I really want to read a quote because I love quotes. I just love sharing quotes in my podcast. I also share them in my Dutch podcast. And I really, really love the quotes of Winnie the Pooh. They're so wise and so good. And the quote I wanted to tell you today is, "You are braver than you believe, stronger than you seem. and smarter than you think. And I think this is such a good quote, because especially we women, and I think the majority of people who are watching my podcast are women, we are so insecure about ourselves and always think that the other, well, not always, but many times we think that other people can do it better, other people are smarter, other people are thinner, are more intelligent, are more creative, can knit better. There are so many things that we don't think about ourselves. What I just wanted to say is, you are smarter than you think. You really are. And you are really braver than you think, because we are very brave. We women are very brave. And you have so much to give. And I think when we stop looking at others, but, you know, more look to ourselves, what we can give, what we are able to give, what we can do. Because every one of us is able to do so many things. And it can be in crafting, in craftsmanship, but it also can be like being there for another. You know, be a good listener, or just to give your warmth or your love to a person, or just listen to somebody, you know, just be open and open-minded to other people. And I think we need to give ourselves more credit, because we are strong, we are clever, and we are so much braver than we think. And it also counts for the knitting part. So that was my quote of today. Then I wanted to share something that is already finished. It's my Be Beautiful. It's a beautiful pattern of Pia Trans, and it's beautiful. And I will put some footage here why I'm not happy with this. And I think also, well, first let me tell you why I'm not happy with it. I'm not happy with it because there are many mistakes in the sweater. And if I hold it like this, you just don't see it that much. And I can show you like this, like, look, it's so beautiful, and put it on and you won't notice a thing. And I think that's also the power, or I don't think it's a power, of social media, that we can pretend that things are perfect and good, but in reality they aren't. And this counts also for this sweater. It has to do with me and my knitting. I think, I don't know what went wrong, but I had many stitches that are flimsy, and even after blocking, and I just don't like to wear it. And I know handcrafts, it doesn't need to be perfect, but I want it to look nice. Like my Ranunculus, it really looks nice. And even there was a hole in the back, and maybe you can see a little bit if you look very well. I don't mind, because it's handmade and it just looks beautiful. But this shirt just doesn't look beautiful, and I just don't like wearing it. So I think after you see the footage I just showed you, you understand why I'm not happy with it. So I'm in doubt to rip it, to frog it, not to rip it, because to rip it, you rip it apart. I'm in doubt to frog it and to use the yarn again, because it's really lovely yarn. And yeah, I just don't like it. So I'm very disappointed by myself. It took a lot of hours to knit this sweater or camisole, or you tell me later. You tell me in the comments how we call the summer sweaters with the short sleeves. So it took me a lot of time to knit it, and a lot of effort. I really enjoyed the process of knitting. So I enjoyed the knitting part, but I don't enjoy the result. So I think it's better just to frog it. So that is really a pity. because I really wanted this to be my first favorite sweater, and it isn't. The Ranunculus, it is my favorite. So that's what I wanted to tell about the Be Beautiful. Then I started knitting the home camisole of Caidree, and I will put some footage next to me because I already frogged it and the yarn is in this bag. I started to knit the home camisole, and I started also on the wrong side. So I had a lot of yarn going on, but the pattern is really clear and is good. And it looked really nice. I used this beautiful cotton and bamboo. It's from Stylecraft. It's a really nice and soft yarn. I think this may be my new favorite summer yarn. It's beautiful. The color I bought, it's natural. Yeah, I need to cake this one because it's not, you see, it doesn't look very nice. I started the pattern and I didn't start at the good side. So I started at the wrong side, but I knitted it and it was okay. I thought it was the V-neck was very deep, and also the straps were very small. I knitted the size large. I'm a European size 40 from here. It's medium to large. Sometimes 38, 40. I think it's more medium than large, but I like my garments to be a little bit oversized. So I decided to knit the large, and it was way too big. And so I decided to frog it last night, and I need to start all over again. And I think I will cast on a little bit more stitches, so the straps will be a little bit broader. And I will use this yarn for it. But because I started the pattern not good, I have lots of yarns that I frogged. So that I frogged, like big one, a small one, another small one. It's all a part here. You knit front and back, and then you join them in the round later. And other, so you see I have small pieces of yarn, even another here. You can see I have 4 from the 4 sides. From the 4 sides I knitted. This ball of yarn, it's only 100 grams. So I ordered another one because I also think 200 grams wasn't enough anyway. And you need to knit this with needle size. Yeah, you knit this with a needle size 4. So that's quite nice. I liked it. It looked really nice. It felt really good. But I have to start all over again. So in my next podcast, I will tell you more about this. And I hope I can show you a little bit more. I was hoping to get it finished quite quickly because we had in the Netherlands on the we had on the 15th of July in the Netherlands, we had like a meeting day, like for knitters. And there were around 30 to 40, maybe 50 knitters. And a woman who was there, she was wearing a really nice linen skirt with really nice, the home camisole of Caidree. So therefore I decided that I wanted to knit the home camisole because I also ordered a linen skirt so I can wear it together. I really love linen skirts and linen dresses. So that will be very nice. So I'm looking very much forward to knitting it and then knit a nice camisole. I love to knit a nice cardigan over it. So I'm really looking forward to having more knitted garments. And I wish I could knit quicker and I would finish them quicker and I wouldn't make so much mistakes, so I didn't need to frog my things. But that's the life of a knitter. I'm sure you can relate to that. So the next time I can show you a little bit more about my home camisole. I knitted the last 2 days. I continued knitting on my beautiful rug sweater from Junko Okamoto. You can see it starts to really have more. Put those things out because they make such a terrible noise, but these are needle protectors. They're really good. They not only protect my needles, but they also protect my stitches. So what I wanted to tell about this is that the next time in my podcast I will finish the color work. You can see my floats are now very good, but you can see here they're long. And what I learned, because I think I was catching my floats, but I wasn't catching them good, though here you can see I catch them also good. But this will pull on my sweater and it will make bumps in my color work. So I hope it won't give bumps on this sweater. I don't think it will, because I started to weave it in. So for me to find out what I did wrong and why I got the big floats was because when I knitted a stitch, you just don't weave them in every stitch. So you weave them in every other stitch. I showed you in my last podcast how to do it because somebody showed me, and I'm very happy she showed me because now I'm doing it good. So I love this sweater, and I really, I'm not in a hurry because it's more a winter garment, and well, we're in the middle of summer, so every time I knit a little bit, so I hope in fall it will be ready. But it's just beautiful, beautiful. Look how it, and the yarn, I told you about it in my last podcast. I love the yarn. It's so pretty. It's so soft. So I ordered some yarn and I ordered some lead lopi, and I want to make a color sweater with lead lopi, and I'm very curious how I will feel about it. I know it's beautiful yarn, but more how the feel of the wool, how I will experience it on my skin. So yes, I'm very curious to find it out. The only way to find it out is just by using it. But for now, first, let's finish the home camisole. And maybe I will knit the Tolsta, but I'm not sure because everybody and his mother is knitting the Tolsta tee from Caidree. It's a beautiful pattern. I have another nice pattern what I wanted to knit, and I think I want to knit that first before I started to knit the Tolsta tee of Caidree, which is really nice because you can adjust it. There's so many ways to knit the Tolsta tee, and I can see it all over YouTube. Many knitters knit the Tolsta tee. But I have also a beautiful pattern of Pia Trans, and that is the brise top, and that is a beautiful top as well. So I really like to knit that one. Maybe in the same yarn from the Staalkraft, like the bamboo cotton. I'm not sure because I also have some other cottons in my stash. And so I think I first want to knit the brise top because there's lace work in it. I really love to knit lace work. I really enjoyed knitting this lace work in the Ranunculus. For sure, this is not my last Ranunculus. I think I will also make a winter version because it's such a lovely pattern, and many people knitted more than one. Some people even knitted, I think, 5 or 6 Ranunculusen, how you say that? Multiple Ranunculuses? I don't know. But so there's so many choices, and like I told before, sometimes I really get overwhelmed by all the patterns and all the possibilities, and because I'm a beginner knitter, there's so much I want to make. I want my knitted garments to be my own knitted garments and not knitted garments which I buy in the store. So I'm really looking forward opening my cupboard and seeing my own knitted items. I would love that. It will make me very happy. But I need to be a little bit more patient because I can be very impatient. Like I'm in a hurry, I'm not patient. Sometimes I'm very patient, but sometimes I'm not patient at all because I really want it and it gets me so excited. And it's so nice, you get so excited over yarn and over knitted items. That's a new world to me. And even though it's overwhelming, it's also makes me so happy, and it makes me so thankful that I'm able to buy the yarns and able to knit and to learn how to knit. So yes, I'm a very thankful person. And I need to take something with me when we go on holiday in September. I'm going on holiday with my husband, and we will go to Greece. We will go to Lefkas. I'm very much looking forward to going there. We love going to Greece in September. So I think this is the 6th time we go to Greece, or the 7th time. Like even the 7th time. Yeah, we love it. So I need to take something light with me. And I think the Bries or the Tolstati, in the Bries when the lacework is finished, I think it's just knitting it around, and I can take that with me. And especially when I knit it from cotton and bamboo. So, and I'm very curious, what are you knitting? What do you have on your needles? Do you have many projects? Are you already knitting winter garments? Or are you only knitting summer garments? Or are you watching from Australia where it's now winter? Or is it very hot where you live? So are you able to knit when it's so warm? I really would like to know which projects you are working on. Please let me know in the comments. Then I can check out your Instagram, and that will be very nice to have a little bit interaction with each other, because I love to see what you're knitting on. So let me know. This was not a very long podcast, but I think also the shorter one are nice. So maybe I can make more videos, but shorter ones. Maybe also in Dutch. So I can, yeah, I don't know yet, because I don't knit that quick, and I need to tell something in my podcast, and I need to tell you something new and what I'm working on. And so let's see how it goes. I'm not forcing myself to anything. It's a hobby. I love doing it. I love the interaction. I love the knitting community. So I get a lot of energy out of it. That was it for today. Thank you so much for watching this video. And if you like this video, please put your thumbs up. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed yet. I would love it if you join my knitting family, my small Dutch knitter knitting family. And I will see you again in my next video. Bye bye.